Sabrina Ionescu has finally spoken out, and what she just revealed about Caitlin Clark after the Liberty's stunning loss to the Indiana Fever has the basketball world buzzing. After months of speculation, heated comparisons, and media-fueled tension, we now have a clearer picture of where Sabrina stands when it comes to her high-profile counterpart. In this video, we're unpacking Sabrina's unfiltered post-game remarks, her genuine thoughts on Caitlin Clark, and how that jaw-dropping 30-point loss may have just redefined one of the WNBA's most talked-about rivalries. Let's get into it. Before tip-off, the New York Liberty were widely expected to dominate.
Obviously, it's important for them, but just for her, I'm happy she's back.
And Brianna just messaged to the team after tonight's game on what you thought. That you didn't hear, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, my message to the team was to keep your heads up. I mean, we are now 10 games into the season and we have a long ways to go. But, you know...
With a star-studded lineup featuring Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, and Jonquil Jones, most expected the Liberty to cruise to an easy victory. On paper, Indiana looked outmatched, another game where the Fever were supposed to just survive. But from the jump, Caitlin Clark flipped that script entirely. She opened the game on fire, drilling 3 long-range shots in the first quarter alone. Her vision was surgical, threading passes between defenders, running the offense with confidence, and lighting up the arena every time she touched the ball. New York simply couldn't keep up. By halftime, Indiana had built an 18-point cushion. By the end of the night, it wasn't just a win, it was domination. The final score? 95-65. A 30-point dismantling that stunned the league. The Liberty's top players were outplayed. Their defense unraveled. Sabrina Ionescu, once hailed as the face of the league, finished with only 9 points, connecting on just 3 of her 13 attempts. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark exploded for 27 points, handed out 12 assists, and snagged 6 rebounds in a performance that left no doubt. Then came the post-game press conference. All eyes turned to Sabrina. Would she brush it off? Would she take a veiled jab? Or would she give credit where it was clearly earned? Frustrated but composed, Sabrina approached the mic. And when asked about Clark's monster game, she didn't hold back.
Gave her too many easy ones. Obviously, she has great range, and her ability to get her shot off is really impressive, especially with missing some games. And so, obviously, on a personal level, I'm really happy to see her back out on the court, healthy, feeling good, because obviously it's important for them, but just for her, I'm happy she's back.
And Brianna just...
What Caitlin's doing right now is special, Sabrina said. It's rare to see a rookie come in and command games the way she does, especially against experienced teams like ours. She absolutely earned this one. That response turned heads, not because it was dramatic, but because it was refreshingly sincere. Sabrina wasn't just being polite. She was being real. She's fearless, she added. Pulling up from near half-court like it's routine? It doesn't matter who's in front of her, she finds a way to make the right read, the right shot, the right pass. I respect how she's managing all this attention. It's not easy. For years, the media and fans have drawn constant comparisons between Ionescu and Clark. Debates have raged about who the true face of women's basketball will be. But on this night, there was no bitterness in Sabrina's tone, only respect. The truth is, their stories are more alike than different. Both were generational college talents. Both carried programs on their shoulders, Ionescu at Oregon, Clark at Iowa. Both drew headlines for their fire, their flair, and their fearlessness. And both entered the WNBA under the intense weight of expectation. When Sabrina was drafted first overall in 2020, she was seen as the league's future. But injuries and early growing pains slowed her momentum. Then came Clark, arriving with even more media attention, record-breaking college audiences, and comparisons to NBA stars. Some assumed Sabrina might be frustrated watching a new phenom take the spotlight. But based on her post-game words, it's clear, real players respect greatness when they see it. I know what it feels like to have every move scrutinized, Sabrina said. To carry that kind of pressure, it's different. And she's handling it really well.
I mean, it's not defeating. Basketball's a game that runs in the same way like we go on runs, they do as well. They're a great team. So I don't think it's defeating. I think obviously we know what a great shooter she is, and I think we just gave her too many easy ones. Obviously, she has great...
Stepping into a league with that kind of spotlight isn't easy, but Clark is managing it with remarkable poise. The story, though, didn't stop with Sabrina Ionescu's praise. When reporters brought it up to Caitlin Clark during her own post-game interview, she responded with the kind of humility and authenticity that fans have come to expect. "I've been following Sabrina since I was in high school," Clark said. "She's one of the players who helped open doors for people like me. I've got a ton of respect for her and what she's done for the game." And then Clark took it even further. "She's easily one of the highest IQ players in the league. I've studied so much of her tape. To play against her now and hear those words from her, it really means something." This wasn't just a scripted soundbite. It was a real moment between two of the WNBA's brightest stars, unfolding in the middle of fierce competition. No media spin. No empty flattery. Just respect, player to player. The reaction from the sports world was immediate. Major outlets like ESPN and Fox Sports lit up with coverage. Commentators applauded both players, not only for their performance but for the professionalism they displayed. On First Take, Stephen A. Smith said, "This is exactly what women's basketball needs. Two elite players who go at it hard, but lift each other up at the same time. That's how you build a league." Analysts quickly connected the dots. This isn't just a rivalry, it's a moment of evolution. For years, the WNBA has fought for mainstream traction. But with stars like Clark and Ionescu leading the way, that barrier is finally breaking. "This is starting to feel like Magic versus Bird," said ESPN's Chiny Ogwumike. "Not because they play the same way, but because of the mutual respect, the competitive fire, and the storylines that are capturing fans' attention." And she's right. The Fever versus Liberty rivalry is quickly becoming one of the WNBA's must-watch matchups. But this goes beyond stats and final scores. It's about legacy. This moment between Clark and Ionescu signals a new chapter for the league. One that values competitive fire and mutual respect. For one, it raises the bar for how stars behave. In an era where headlines are often dominated by social media drama, these two are showing that you can go head-to-head and still uplift the game together. Second, it's bringing fan communities together. Instead of tearing one player down to prop another up, supporters are starting to see how both can coexist and thrive. And third, it's driving numbers. The recent Fever versus Liberty game didn't just produce highlights, it shattered viewership records. Clips of Clark hitting logo threes and Ionescu delivering slick assists were all over timelines for hours. And those post-game interviews? Viral gold. The rivalry is far from over. These two teams will meet again this season, and the rematch is already one of the most anticipated games on the calendar. Will Sabrina bounce back? Will Clark keep surging? Can they both continue elevating the league? Sabrina made one thing clear after the game: it's just one game. We'll see them again. And you can bet Clark will be ready. This isn't about one player overshadowing another. It's about two elite competitors pushing each other, and the league, hired or so whether you're Team Clark or Team Sabrina. The truth is we all win when the game grows like this. What Sabrina said about Caitlin wasn't just kind words. It felt like a symbolic handoff. A recognition that the next generation is here, and it's being led by players who understand what it means to lead with integrity, passion, and purpose. Yes, the Fever dominated the scoreboard, but what came after the final buzzer might be even more important. A public moment of respect and admiration between two icons in the making. That if the WNBA keeps building on moments like this, it's not just growing, it's